Greetings, everybody. I'm Jeremiah.
That's him.
She's Vania.
That's me.
Welcome to another episode of the Beard and Curls podcast, where culture and creativity meets consciousness.
If you're new here, consider subscribing to our YouTube channel.
Or follow us on your favorite platform for the latest, most exciting conversations anywhere.
Okay, let's do this.
Cue that intro.
What's up, guys? It's your girl Margot Bingham.
Karen Parsons.
You're now tuned in.
You're now tuned in.
You're now tuned in.
You are now tuned in.
You are now tuned in to Beard and Curls.
Beard and Curls. Beard and Curls.
Beard and Curls.
Beard and Curls. Keep it locked.
You may have seen this brother on HBO, Showtime, Comedy Central, Netflix. Seriously, dude is everywhere. He's arguably one of the funniest comedians to ever step to the stage. We're talking about none other than Wil Sylvince.
Wil, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you for having me.
So yeah, we're going to dive into a bunch of different things today. You're known for being a funny guy. You have a background as a comedian. So tell us a little bit about when you first developed your love for comedy.
I think my ex-boss gave me a Robin Harris CD or tape, and I just listened to that for like a year straight every day. I mean, before that, I used to love making people laugh as a kid, and I used to think laughing and eating was two of the best things you could do. Like laughing and eating was like the best things ever, and so I wanted to do it, but with my parents, my parents from Haiti, and my dad was not having that. You know, you have to go to school, get a job, and make money and buy a house, and that was like, you know.
Okay. Okay. So then you talk about eating and you talk about comedy. So why comedy and not like the hot dog eating contest?
I mean, because I don't know. What you rather? You rather laugh or eat hot dogs and you don't have no idea where they're from?
No, I just thought,
have you ever smelled like the hot dog water sitting on the stove after a while?
Nah.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
smell good.
That's cool. So then let me ask you this though. So like you said, you always like to make people laugh growing up and things like that. So were you inspired by a particular comedian? Like which comedian did you look up to growing up?
I mean, besides Richard Pryor and Eddie Murphy, Damon Wayans, there was one that I identified with as a kid was Rodney Dangerfield, because I never felt like I was good looking. I felt like I was like, whatever. But then when I heard Rodney, like, I get no respect. A girl said, "Hey, Rodney, come on over. Nobody's home." I went on over. Nobody was home. No respect. So I was like, "Oh shoot, that's me." Well, not that I went to a girl's house and she wasn't home, but no girl gave me the chance to come over.
Yeah. I feel
So I identified with Rodney very easily. So he was an inspiration. Then I'm such a fan of comedy. Like I get inspired by so many different comedians: Patrice O'Neal, Dave Chappelle, Bill Burr, Jim Norton, Keith Robinson. Like these are. I could go on. Like I'm just inspired by the way they formulate jokes. Louis C.K., Aziz Ansari, and deliver their message.
So what are the things that you used to do as a kid? Like, was it telling jokes or were you funny in different ways also?
Mine were more practical jokes. Like I would just hide behind something and and just, or like take a dead something, put it in a box and leave it there and write "for you" and just watch people open the box. Like, and watch them scream, is a dead rat, a big dead rat in a small box, and they open the box. Look, people are going to jump whether it's a dead rat or a live rat. That's what I noticed. I'm like, the rat is dead. Why are you jumping?
Right.
Just dumb practical jokes as a kid. Whatever. Most of the time it was at their expense, but people around got a good laugh, which was good.
All right. That's what's up, man. I wanted to go back to something you said though. You said like growing up, maybe like your parents didn't think that comedy was a thing, but that's what you ended up doing anyway. So what was that conversation like, or what was it like to be able to say, "Hey, you know what? I'm gonna start doing this comedy thing for real"? Because like you said, they wanted you to get an education. Like I think in one of your specials you talked about, they want you to be a doctor, lawyer, engineer, that kind of stuff.
Real quick, I'm gonna answer your question, but I'm when I started doing it really came from my dad. My dad used to be like, oh, like he'll say when he's shocked or something surprised him, why you do that? And so people took that as like a thing that Haitians do. I'm like, no, this is my dad, dude. This is not Haitians. Because I couldn't speak for Haitian. I could speak for what was going on in my house. And then I noticed like, oh wow, a lot of other Haitian families could relate with the why you do this? How you tell me you want to clean the dishes and the dishes are still there? Either you clean them and you reuse them, or you lie to me. You know, but yeah. But anyway, to answer your question, wait, what was your question again, real quick?
Yeah, no. What was it like when you told him like, hey, I want to do comedy?
Oh yeah. So I had moved out of my family's house, but you know, even as a Haitian, you move out, you still don't have your freedom. You know, like I remember my mother would call me like clockwork, 10 o'clock at night to see if I was home. No matter where I was in the streets, I would run home to make sure I get home by 10 o'clock. Just to prove to my mother I didn't leave the house to be a vagabond or to be a thug. You know what I'm saying? Because she thought, oh, so you just want to be a thug? You want to run the street? And I'm like, no, man, no, I just want to be a man. I just want to be me. So just not to break her heart. Oh shit, guys, I got. No matter where I was, I rush home, and my mother would call, and hey, ma, yeah, I'm in bed. I'm fully dressed.
I got it.
So when I left the house, I started doing comedy behind their back, and so one day I got on the Apollo, and my brother was like, "Yo, ma, I saw you on TV." I'm like, "Oh shoot!" So I went to the house, and in the living room, my mother had like 7 of her friends talking, right? And I walked in. You probably know, with the living room bees, you open it up and make the sound ring, and so everybody stopped talking. They just looked at me,
right.
And then one of them go, "Is that the comedian there?" And then they all just started laughing. I ain't say nothing, but they were laughing because I think what it is, Haitians or my family, once I made it to television, now is a good thing. You know, television almost like verify, okay, this is a good job.
Wow. So that was like the ultimate stamp of approval. Like, okay, so maybe this could work after all because we were on TV.
Because they didn't know anybody. They didn't know anybody on TV. Meaning they didn't know anybody close to them. Nobody. I was the first one they knew that made it to television. That makes sense. So I was like a star with no money.
Okay. And how was your journey? Like, because you said that you did it by yourself. Your family didn't know. So how was it to go through that journey?
I don't know, man. I guess I'm a weirdo because I always been lonely, alone.
Okay.
For the most part, so talking to people was never a thing for me. Not that I would talk to myself. I'm not that super crazy, but I didn't feel like I need someone to bounce off as much. Later on in life, I found out that, oh wow, it's good to have a friend, good to have a whatever to bounce off things. You know, but I guess that part of the journey was just a solo life.
I feel that.
You know?
Yeah, it is though, Will. So like, when did you know you had it though? Like, when did you know that, okay, you know what, I could actually do something. I could actually make it big.
Wait, I have it? I don't that never entered, to be honest, that never entered my mind. I have it. I still, maybe because I think there's no finish line to this. There's no like, oh, I made it. Like it's like a lifestyle. Like you just live it. You know what I'm saying? I would try to tell my ex-girlfriend I'm very bad at explaining myself verbally, but you just live, as opposed to like, okay, I reached that point. I reached, so I like, even when if I come out with my films or whatever, I won't feel like it's on to the next film and then on to the bigger thing. So it's like, you keep, not that I want more, but I want to do more, if that makes sense.
I got you. I guess I was just more so saying like you said, you were in Apollo. Like that's a pretty big deal, to even get on that stage. And so like to get on there and then to get on the specials that you had, like HBO and, Netflix and all this stuff, at some point you're like, okay, so there was something there that enabled me to get to these opportunities and to make it to these, different levels and stuff like that.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, but I just think I just never viewed it as like like that way. I just like after I said goodnight, dude, I just went home. You know what I'm saying? You know, like there was no celebration. There was no like you did it. You know, I mean, I got some fans, but it was never like maybe a sense of accomplishment or content.
Okay.
And so that maybe that's also what made me just get up the next day and keep going and like
It sounds like there's a certain level of humility there, man. Like you never get too big about your success and the things that you've accomplished. It's more like, okay, I filed this one in the get it done bucket and then keep it moving.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
So where do you get your inspiration to keep coming up with new materials?
My family they still a lot of meat on those bones. Obviously, events that are happening now, Corona. Before Corona was like government. I try not to talk about too much about politics. Life, relationships, my new relationship, which is now my old relationship. My family, my brothers. It's like it's always like fuel.
Okay, so do you feel like you always have things to choose from, or is it sometimes hard to come up with it?
Yeah, there's some days I have writer's block and just can't think of what to talk about, or sometimes I feel guilty for getting on stage with nothing new to talk about. I have nothing new to bring to the stage, and then sometimes I go through that same experience, and then I just come up with stuff. Sometimes the audience is inspiring.
Okay. And so, like, how long does it typically take to come up with like a special, like to create a special?
Oh, special could take years, dude. Like, I mean, sometimes when you watch comics come out, one special, another special, like soon after, I guarantee you that second special won't be as good as that first, because at first they had so much time to work on a lot of that material, tweak them, tag them many times, change certain words, and then if they got to come out with another one like a year or 2 years later, they didn't have that same time. So it could take a long. It just depends when you think it's ready.
I feel it.
So anywhere between a year, which I think is not any time, to like 5 years or 10 years.
I feel it. I wanted to go back to the Apollo though. I know that's one of the most notorious places to perform at, man. What was the reception you got when you performed out there?
Well, it's two things that I was on the Apollo twice.
Okay.
Shows. Okay, so this might be a little long, but so I did Showtime at the Apollo, right? And when I came out, before I came out, I told the host, Steve Harvey at that time, I said, yo, I got an idea. If I bomb, I'm going to moon the crowd. I'm going to put my pants on and moon the crowd. That way they won't air it on TV. Steve Harvey looked me right in my face and said, that's a good idea. Right? So I came out. One of my very first jokes was, no more ugly girls for me, because I'm ugly too. Two wrongs don't make a right, right? At that time, that joke was killing. It's killing, right? So I came out. I go, what's up, Apollo? What's going on? Shut up. I'm like, let me just get to the joke. No more ugly girls for me. Some dude right in the front go, cause you ugly too. That's right. Cause I'm ugly. He just took all the win out. Oh. I'm ugly too, sir. Two wrongs don't make a right. And then one guy go, boo. One guy just said, boo. Someone else was like, that's a good idea. Boo. And the boos came in so hard. I'm like, oh, they're coming in deep. I got to go to my plans. So I started unbuckling my pants, but my pants was a little, I couldn't get undone. And so I just turned around, put my pants down, and just mooned the whole crowd, right? The boos is coming so hard. My butt cheeks was vibrating like a speaker. You ever see a speaker with a boo? That's how hard the boos. And then I walked off stage and pulled my pants off. And then Steve Harvey goes, why did you do that for? You'll never come back on the Apollo because of that. I'm like, but you said it was a good plan. And That was not good at all.
Oh man! So that was the Showtime special.
That was the Showtime special. So
Man,
2 days 2 days later, a producer from the Apollo called me to come back to the Apollo. I'm like, dude, I'm not even coming to Harlem for at least 10 years. Right? He said, no, this is a different type of show. This is separate from the Apollo. It's not the Apollo, but it's a different, the Apollo is branching to two different shows. One is, that's the Apollo for music and comedy. This is for like sketch comedy.
okay.
And so I was like, oh man, all right, I'll do it. This is a week later.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, it's gonna be the same crowd. It's gonna be the same crowd. So what happened was I came out and I go, "What's up, Apollo?" A little bit more inviting. I feel like this is different a little bit. Hey. I go, "What's up?" I just go, "No more ugly girls for me." They was cracking just on that part, right? Yeah, no more ugly girls. I go, "Cause I'm ugly too. Too long to make it right." Place erupts. Right? And so as I go into my second joke, the producer on the guard of mic go, "Will, hello, yes, sorry, Will. We had to do that again. Our cameras was not rolling." I'm like, "Dude, are you on medication?" Like, they already heard the first joke. I can know the jokes to start with.
Right.
And so the crowd was laughing at me riffing with the crowd, with the whatever. And so I tell the crowd, "Hey, look, man, I'm gonna go out. Y'all need to do me a favor and just act like you ain't never heard that I said that joke at all, right? I'm gonna act like it's all new, right?" And they're like, yeah. I went out, I came out, "What's up, Apollo?" They overacted. That's what up? And I go, "No more ugly." Some assholes in the crowd was doing this joke with me like it's a song. "No more ugly girls for me." And then that joke actually got a way bigger response than the first time, to believe it or not. And I did much better.
Wow.
Sorry, that was a long story.
Oh,
No.
Nah, that was good, boss. So at the end of the day, you got a second chance, to make a first impression, and it ended up working out for you.
Yeah. Yes.
Because the first show, you didn't really even get through it. You know what I'm saying? You mooned them, and then
And well, the second show, I also didn't get through it, but I had a second chance at the first chance on the second show. Do we have a math teacher out there? Can you do math calculations on that?
So that was it for you, man? Just those 2 times at the Apollo?
Yeah, that was it. That was the 2 times. I was banned on the other one. They got my butt cheeks on file over there to remind them.
But it must be challenging sometimes, because you literally rely on the reaction of the audience. So if it sometimes, I can imagine that you must test your jokes and see how they react, and like, do you have like different jokes to choose from in your head?
That's a challenge. It's like we live for that high, that audience response. Like, we become whores for that immediate. Like, I can't think of another entertainment where you get that immediate. Like, if you're a singer, you go to the studio, you write the song, you go to the studio, record it, you put it out, and then you wait. But from the time you start to the time you're waiting could be like months, years even. Same thing with film or even television, But even with television, you don't need a laugh. Sometimes with live television, you could just be telling a monologue. The crowd just look at you like. But with comedy, you want to hear that laughter. When you don't hear that laughter, then it's like, okay, it's not working. So yeah, if I'm not doing a TV show or filming something, I'm just doing stand up at a club or wherever. Yeah, I have a ton of jokes, a ton of things. Let me not call them jokes at first. A ton of ideas I want to talk about, and then we figure it out. We'll figure out if it's funny or not. Hey, let's find out together, audience. Is this gonna be funny or not?
I hear that. Okay. So then let me ask you this, man. So like, obviously we talked a little bit about some of the people who inspired you growing up and kind of got you down this path. Like, who do you look at today and say, like, man, this dude's really doing work. I got to stay on my A game.
Well, yes and no. Yes, Dave Chappelle.
Okay.
No, I will never get to that point. That's a humongous mountain that most comedians will never make. Chappelle's like at that, he's at the top of the game where like basically, put it this way, you got a comedy that's really good that's on top of the mountain. Chappelle is on another planet. He done passed that mountain. He's on another planet. So like I made it to the top of the mountain, yeah, but you didn't make it to Chappelle level. You're gonna need a couple of rocket ships. So Chappelle, but there's other comics, I look up to. There's Zainab Johnson, Keith Robinson, Jim Norton, Mark Norman, Joe List. I could name all these comics you never heard of. There's a bunch of Mike Vecchione. These are great comedians, great writers, great storytellers. Great performers. There's so much things into being a comedian. Though, the performance, the telling the jokes, how you tell the jokes, your timing, your delivery.
That's what's up, man. So then let me ask you this though, because in any profession, you know what I'm saying, I don't care what it is, you always want to get the respect of your peers. I remember, I forgot who it was that said that, like, one of the things I did get a kick out of as far as being a comedian is making other comedians laugh. And so, like you talked about getting, energy from the crowd. What is what is like to get the respect of your peers, and how is that for you as a comedian, like to maybe make other comedians laugh?
Oh, it's amazing, man. I mean, like at the Comedy Cellar, there's a place inside where comedians sit and just talk all kinds of crap, and to make the comedians could be the toughest crowd, and to make them laugh, yeah, it's a huge, huge thing. But a lot of times I don't even come there to make them laugh. I just come there just to hang out, to be part of that community, to be part of that group and that circle of friends.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
So earlier you mentioned that you were like funny as a kid. So what about now in your personal life, like with your family and friends? Are you like a funny guy also, or like how would you describe yourself when you're not doing comedy?
My family now, they think I'm funny, but they all laugh at like this when I tell a joke. He's really funny. I'm telling you, he's so funny.
Oh man,
that's my brothers.
Wow.
Okay.
My friends, I mean, I don't have much friends to be honest, but they think I guess they think I'm fine. I hope they think I'm fine. If not, as long as we're cool.
Mm-hmm.
I feel that. All right. So then, Will, let me ask you this now. So you talked a little bit about like Dave Chappelle earlier, and I was going to bring him up because, you talked about earlier also how you don't like to talk about politics and things like that. So in this era that we're in right now, with all of the social movement stuff that's going on, Me Too era, COVID, how hard is it to do comedy with so much serious stuff going on in the world right now?
I don't think it's hard, but it's not hard like. I think it's just as challenging as before because you still have to be funny, Now you just got to be funny with these parameters. But the thing about the whole, first of all, I don't really support the cancel culture because they don't allow for progress or for people to grow. We all have things in our past that we all like messed up, back then. But are you the same person now? And no. Well, I'm talking about the people that progressed. But we are not our mistakes, right? We learn from our mistakes. Our mistakes is probably what made us who we are, made us better people. But I feel like you shouldn't just cast someone out entirely just because of a thing in the past. Now, but if they currently doing it now, that's something different. But to do jokes now, it's like, it's just in your heart. If you just how you feel, then do it and just suffer the consequences. Meaning like I try not to like whether it's bashing a certain group or you try not to bash or but at the time you don't know what you only know what you know. If that makes sense. So you do jokes, and if it's hurtful, then like, oh, I didn't know. But there's people who do know, and they still do those jokes anyway.
Right.
I'm not sure if I even answered the question. I apologize. I just went on a tantrum.
You mean the tangent?
Tangent. Damn it.
Nah, you good, man. I'm messing with you.
Tangent and tantrum.
Both.
I went on a tantrum.
I got
tangent.
There you go. But yeah, I guess why I was asking that is like, do you, like before you say something, do you kind of think about it a little bit more than maybe before? Like, do you think twice before you say something?
Yeah, you try to think twice. Sometimes I kind of rush to get things out because I have a bad memory. But yeah, you try to think twice. But also, if you most of the time you're thinking righteous, then your thoughts and words would most likely be more righteous. That makes sense. So righteous meaning like I don't mean harm to anybody. I don't hate anybody. That's how my mother raised me. Like the gay lifestyle, right? My mother always taught us like love everybody the same. But when I used to watch kids growing up, they used to like tease the gays, and that never made sense to me. Like they just people. But if you just think about disrespecting people, then you wouldn't have to like, oh, let me think about that. I think racist people have to think 3-4 times. Hold on. Let me make sure. You know what I'm saying? They gotta edit their things and say, and then black people, you know what your real thought was, your original thought.
I feel you. So let me ask you this though. Like, have you ever done like a show or anything like that where maybe afterwards, maybe when you're meeting and greeting folks, somebody comes up to you and says, you know what, when you said that kind of hurt my feelings. And
yeah, I had that.
Okay.
I had that. Where it was not a person I was directly talking to. So I was talking about the Jamaican culture a lot, and this guy just came up to me like, "Yo, man, not all Jamaicans are like that." And I was like, "Well, I didn't say all Jamaicans. I was just talking about the ones that I interacted with or encountered, but the word all never came out of my mouth. But I apologize if you got upset or you misunderstood where I was coming from. But yeah, I'm not saying all Jamaicans suck their teeth or all Jamaicans say, oh. I was just telling a story that happened and not saying these are how all Jamaicans happen. And he understood, but it was just funny how like when you think you're saying something that's not hurtful, and but there's always someone always not seeing it the same way you see it, which happens a lot in relationships.
Yeah, I think that happens in any aspect of life.
Yeah, definitely. Because like even in life that happens a lot. Imagine when you're like in front of a whole audience, everybody has a different background, different experience, different family culture, so different way of seeing things. So the probability is going to be there that somebody is going to feel offended for something. So, but I like what you said earlier. You said like your intentions are good, so even when something doesn't go the way as planned, then at least you know that your intentions are good. And
yeah, and also after that conversation, I started thinking, what else am I saying that sound like I'm saying all Haitians? That's why I always talk about when I'm doing my Haitian jokes. It's coming from my family. Hey, my dad talk like my uncle say penis in my mouth. What I'm saying. So, and penis, because he was pronouncing peanuts, penis. I went to penis. Penis is delicious.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, uncle, you mean peanuts.
Tell me you guys helped him out with that. Tell me somebody.
Let me tell you something. No matter how many times I said, it's peanuts. That's what I say. I say penis. He's always like that. I say that. No, you're saying penis. I didn't say that. You're not saying peanuts. I say penis. So it's a back and forth thing where it just that same way how we interpret things, perspective.
I feel you, man. But hey, man, I want to switch gears to something a little bit more serious. So you're part of this project, this inspirational film called I Am Maurice.
Oh yeah.
There you go. You got the shirt out and everything. So nice. Tell us a little bit about that project and what that means to you personally.
Is a passionate project. Me and my writing partner Brian Kennedy, we wrote this story. It's about this Haitian guy who comes from Haiti to pursue his love for boxing. A little bit more detail about it is basically he's best friends with a friend in Haiti, and their dream is to come to America to be champions of the world as Haitians. And and it's easier said than done because when he comes to America, he realizes it's not that easy. He's homeless, no food, can't find a trainer, can't find out how to make money, and then one day just decide to tackle all his obstacles bit by bit, clean up and then fix up his outfit, start looking for work, stack up his money, and blah blah blah. And slowly but surely, he's just started chipping away at this wall to get to success. And we did a trailer. So in the trailer you'll see, yeah, it's a boxing film, but it's more about his fight outside the ring than inside the ring. Just making it to that his first fight in that trailer, and what he had to go through and endure. But the movie's a little bit deeper than that. I'm just don't want to give away a lot of it, but the struggle. But if you take out boxing, like a lot of people could relate to it because you could put in seamstress, you could put in engineer, a doctor, lawyer. Is still like the struggles you go through with something that you're so passionate about.
Yeah, well, that's what's up, man. And so Maurice comes here after the big old earthquake, right? The big earthquake in 20.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he comes after the earthquake. All the characters in the movie are like, so the movie is a fiction, but all the characters not fiction. They come from people in my life. Like Maurice is my dad's name, and just like Maurice in the movie, my dad came to America from Haiti with nothing and worked really hard. The trainer Frank is my real life trainer in my real life. Stephen Frank, he's the one that got me into boxing, and I fell in love with the sport. There's the antagonist. The antagonist is my very first bully when I was in junior high school. He found out I was Haitian and I just couldn't fit in. And not sure Vania. See, I remember.
Very good.
Haitians didn't have a lot of love back then. We got bullied, we got cursed out, we got made fun of. So this guy he's the antagonist in the movie. So a lot of every character in the movie are connected to me somehow. So I just took these characters from my life and to tell this story.
Wow. No, I like that, man. It's like symbolic of like what you can accomplish if you put your mind to something. And, even though this guy came from, pretty much having to scrap his way here, he learned the hard way, like this is what it's going to take for me to get this dream and to live out this dream. So I hope I'm not giving too much out. But
no. Yeah. No, you're good.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah, and that it takes more than passion, because passion is there. But what are you going to do in order to put that passion into practice and be consistent and deal with everything that comes with that journey? I think that's one of the most difficult things to do, like to keep going and be consistent and remind yourself every day. So
and also is like what drives what? Does passion drives consistency, commitment, hard work, or does hard work, consistency, and commitment drives passion? I feel like passion comes first. You have to find something you love and you're passionate about, and then you got to put in the work, right? You got to put in the consistency, you got to put in the time, and then why you don't give up is because you're passionate, as opposed to I'm not making it. Well, then you're not passionate. You keep going because you're passionate. Passion make you don't see time. Passion makes the thing you're fighting for timeless. So 1 year or 10 years go by and you're still in the same spot, but you're loving it because you're passionate about it.
Most definitely.
Yeah, it's like for example in a marriage, like if you get married.
Oh, that's different now. No, go ahead.
No, like check this out. So if you're married to somebody that you truly love, you're going to be fighting for that marriage and fighting for that person, hopefully together, to overcome anything that you go through. But imagine you are married to somebody that you don't really love that much. Like, where are you going to get all that energy to fight for that, And I see, so I do see like similarities in that, because when somebody is trying to achieve something and they're not as passionate about, for example, people that are in jobs that they don't really, they're not really passionate about, it just makes it harder versus fighting for something that makes your heart smile.
Make your heart smile. That's the name of this episode. Make your heart. No, you are absolutely right. It's like relationship wise, yeah, you want to be with someone, even when times are hard, you fight to keep it, to stay there because you truly love this person. I went through that, and I mean we didn't make it, but the love was there on my side. I won't speak for her, but I knew the love was there on my side, and I wanted to work because when you like you said in a marriage, the reason why you're there is because you want to be there, not because you have to but you want to, and you feel so comfortable there. You feel at home there, and also every place else you've been to, it's like you don't want to go to those other places. That makes sense. Like this is like it's like being with you. You ever had Would You Marry You? But you ever find someone that's like you and that like you love so much, but then what happened is the problems. Sometimes obviously everything had problems, and it's like, yeah, I was willing to like, I don't care what the problems are. Like problems are problems. I mean, obviously, if you're being abused, infidelity, or money problems, you got to get out. I think those right now. I think you guys could tell me better, but those three things, I think, like if you get someone that's irresponsible with money and lying to you about their money, cheating, or mental or physical abuse, you can't stay in that relationship. That's not even a relationship. You're just helping this person with their addiction to abuse or money or cheating.
I feel you. Yeah, no.
Yeah,
that's good perspective.
Yeah, I mean, when a relationship is super unhealthy and, like you were saying, abusive, that's like a different story. Like fighting for something that is really unhealthy and puts yourself into danger. That's different than fighting for a healthy relationship. Like if you're in a healthy relationship, you're still gonna have problems. You still have to resolve issues, but at least it's with the right person. Like if you're in an abusive relationship, like that comes with all kind of other problems. So yeah, I understand where you're coming from.
And when besides those three things, but anything else you're willing to fight for, you're willing to like make this relationship happen because you can't see yourself being with no one else for the rest of your life.
That's what's up.
And that makes your heart smile.
I know, right? The unofficial name of this episode.
Yes, makes my heart smile. I just thought of it in a moment. Yeah. So yeah, because like I couldn't imagine like.
I'm telling you right now, if your heart is smiling, you're probably having a heart attack. So don't. My heart is smiling. No, go to the doctor. Go ahead. I'm sorry, I cut you off. I apologize.
No, I was gonna say like I can't imagine fighting for something like that hard. Like let's say I have doubts and I don't love you, like as much, and I need to like put all the effort. Like it's hard. Like, but because I love you and both of us are committed, then you find strength even when it's challenging. You find strength to keep going. So I think it's the same thing with having that passion for something that you were meant to do in your life, that you keep finding strength even when it's hard. So
yeah,
for sure. So yeah, I wanted to ask you about going back to Maurice though. So where are you guys at with the project? Are we still in production or post production? Where are we at?
Well, we still in the raising the money production.
Okay.
We still have to raise the budget's $800,000. We still have to raise the money, and then we're going in pre-production and then post-production, and production and post-production. So right now we're still trying to raise the money somehow.
Got it. And so if somebody wanted to support the project, how can they donate?
Well, they unless they got that kind of money, or they could, on a smaller scale, they could go to our GoFundMe page. It's GoFundMe.com/I Am Maurice.
Got it. And we'll make sure to include that information in the show notes so people will be able to access that easily. Things like that.
Cool. Oh, thanks.
For sure. No, it's a good project, man. I would like to see that come to fruition for sure.
Yeah,
Me too.
For sure. So what else you got coming up, brother? Like, are you working on anything right now? I know you do a little bit of acting because you're also acting in the movie as well. So what else you got coming up?
Well, I've been working on a couple of short sketches with or like a mini podcast with Cypher Sounds. It's a comedian named Cypher Sounds. Another guy who I look up to is very, very funny guy. And we have a thing called Talk Clearlier. Talk Clearlier. As you can tell, my words are not too clear.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, we just talk about random things. And that's it. And then me and Brian, my writing partner, we have a couple of TV shows we're working on, and of course I Am Maurice project.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as projects, that's it. I'm working on 2 other things I can't really speak on right now, but those are things I'm working on publicly.
Okay. That's what's up, man. I'm sure we'll be excited to see these things come out whenever they drop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so will I. I'll be more excited as you guys.
And Will, where can someone find you online?
I'm usually online at Whole Foods. I'm online there. I'm online at the bank sometimes. No. Instagram, Wil Sylvince, Will with 1 L, WilSylvince.com, WilSylvince.com, my website. What's up with the beard and curls? We didn't talk about beard and curls.
Hey, I know you've been growing that for a minute, man. You got any advice for brothers who can't grow their beard on how they can maybe get a little fuzz or something going?
You call this a beard? You want advice for this? This is why me and my girl broke up because of this.
Oh, man. I feel you. It's all perspective.
I walk to her like this every time I say, "Hey, what's up? What's going on, baby?" Nah, I was leaving this, until we film the movie, so that's why this is like this. I think once we finish shooting, I kind of like it. I'm gonna trim it up a lot, and I don't know. I was never a beard dude until I got it, and then plus it's easier in the morning. Just get up and just look at your face and you out.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of shaving and then doing all that stuff. That's the extra 10-15 minutes.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Will, you are a funny guy, man, but you got some serious things that you're working on, man. We're really glad you came on here and dropped all this stuff on us, man. Much love.
Thanks for having me, man. I love when you guys reach out to me. I was like, oh shoot. I love the beard and curls, the relationship. Like you guys, I mean, I wish you guys like boom, like Joe Rogan, and so you heard of Joe Rogan. He sold his show for $100 million. But we need more acting show, like shows like your shows to expose our stories, people of color stories, our successes, our failures, our families, the culture, and it's through shows like yours that helps us have a voice.
Most definitely. Yeah. Thank you for that, brother. Most definitely. So yeah, Will, thanks again, man. Maybe next time you can come on the show and we can maybe do it in person or something.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, let's make it happen.
Well, there you have it, folks. That's our show for today.
Thanks again for tuning in.
And as always, like it or not, Beard and Curls is the new his and hers.